The Valarian Gate had stood at the edge of the galaxy for 3 million years, a monument to a civilization so advanced that even their ruins defied comprehension. It was a perfect ring of crystalline matter, 5 kilometers in diameter, suspended in the void between stars. Every species that had achieved faster-than-light travel eventually found it, drawn by the quantum signature that rippled through subspace like a lighthouse beam cutting through fog, and every species had failed its test. Jessica Martinez floated in the observation deck of the research vessel Perseverance, her reflection ghostly against the viewing port. Beyond the transparent aluminum, the gate shimmered with internal light, patterns of luminescence flowing across its surface like thoughts made visible. She had been studying it for 2 years, and still it remained a mystery wrapped in an enigma, sealed with mathematics that made her head hurt. Coffee? James Chen drifted up beside her, magnetic boots clicking softly as he re-engaged them. He held 2 bulbs of the brown liquid that fueled their research team. "You're a saint," Jessica said, taking the offered drink. "Any luck with the translation algorithm?" James shook his head. "The Thracian equations are close, but not quite right. It's like trying to open a lock by describing the key instead of actually having it." He paused, staring at the gate. "We've confirmed something, though. The gate definitely judges species before allowing passage." Jessica had suspected as much. The historical records were clear across dozens of alien civilizations. The Thracians, the Kelvari, the ancient progenitors of the Andromeda cluster. All had sent their best and brightest through the gate's testing protocols. All had been found wanting. The gate would activate, scan the individual, and then nothing. Just the cold emptiness of rejection. Some species had tried to force their way through. The Kelvari had brought a battle fleet, attempting to overwhelm the gate with raw firepower. The structure hadn't even bothered to defend itself. It had simply absorbed the energy, like an ocean accepting raindrops. Other species had tried deception, sending AI constructs or genetically engineered perfect beings. The gate saw through every trick, every attempt to game its system, and now humanity stood before it, the newest species to reach this threshold. "Tomorrow's the big day," James said quietly. "The Galactic Council representatives arrive. They'll want to watch us fail like everyone else." "We won't fail," Jessica said, though she wasn't sure she believed it. She had been selected as humanity's representative, the one who would step forward and face the gate's judgment. The pressure was enormous. If she failed, it wouldn't just be personal. It would confirm what many alien species already suspected, that humans were nothing special. Just another young race destined to remain confined to their corner of the universe. The next morning, the observation deck was crowded. Representatives from 17 different species had gathered, their various forms reflected in the viewing ports. The Thracian ambassador stood on 4 crystalline legs, his body a symphony of faceted surfaces. The Kelvari delegation huddled together, their tentacles intertwined in what Jessica had learned was a gesture of nervous anticipation. Jessica suited up in the airlock, her hands steady despite the hammering of her heart. James helped her with the helmet seals, his face visible through his own faceplate. "Remember," he said, "every other species sent their most accomplished individuals. Warrior kings, genius scientists, spiritual leaders, all failed." "Thanks for the pep talk," Jessica said dryly. "I'm not finished." James smiled. "They all failed because they were trying to prove they were worthy. Maybe that's not what the gate is looking for." Before Jessica could respond, the airlock cycled open and she was drifting toward the gate. As she approached, the structure came alive. Light cascaded across its surface, and Jessica felt something brush against her mind. Not quite telepathy, but a sense of being observed at a fundamental level. The gate was reading her, measuring her against some incomprehensible standard. And then it spoke, not in words but in pure meaning that bypassed language entirely. "Why do you seek passage?" The question hung in Jessica's consciousness. She thought of all the rehearsed answers, the philosophical arguments she and James had prepared. But standing here in the presence of something so ancient and vast, the prepared speeches felt hollow. "I don't know if I'm worthy," she transmitted back, using the modified neural interface they had developed. "I'm just curious. We want to see what's on the other side. We want to learn. And we want—" She paused, surprised by what came next. "We want to share it." Whatever is there, we want others to experience it too. The gate's response was immediate. The great ring began to rotate faster and faster, until its interior filled with a swirling vortex of light and possibility. The portal had opened, but Jessica didn't move forward. Instead, she turned her communication channel to the Perseverance. James, bring everyone. All the species representatives. The gate is open. Jessica, that's not... James's voice crackled with confusion. You're supposed to go through first. To prove humanity's worth? No, Jessica said firmly. That's the whole point. This isn't about proving we're better than anyone else. It's about recognizing that we're all in this together. She could feel the gate's attention on her, intense and focused. For a terrifying moment, she thought she had made a catastrophic mistake. Then the structure pulsed with what could only be described as approval. Within hours, ships from across the galaxy began arriving. The Thracians came first, their crystalline forms refracting the gate's light into rainbows. Then the Kelvari, their tentacles trembling with emotions they rarely showed. Species that had competed and fought for millennia found themselves side by side, staring at the open portal that humanity had somehow unlocked. The Thracian ambassador approached Jessica, his voice a chime of crystal harmonics. We do not understand. Your species is young, barely developed. How did you succeed where we failed? Jessica considered the question. Maybe that's why we succeeded. We're too young to think we have all the answers, too inexperienced to believe we deserve to be gatekeepers. She gestured at the assembled species. We're used to helping each other. On Earth, when someone opens a door, we hold it open for whoever's coming behind us. It seemed rude to do anything else. The Kelvari delegation made a sound like water over stones, their equivalent of laughter. Humans, one of them said, are either the wisest species we have encountered or the most foolishly optimistic. Why not both? James had joined them, his suit marked with the insignia of the Perseverance. One by one, the species began to pass through the gate. They found what lay beyond, a network of similar gates, a vast infrastructure connecting galaxies, a gift from the progenitors meant not for the strongest or the smartest, but for those who understood that advancement meant bringing others along. Jessica and James went through last, holding the metaphorical door open until everyone else had passed. As they crossed the threshold together, the gate pulsed one final message. Worthiness is not in strength or knowledge, but in the recognition that you are not alone. The door was never locked. It was always open. You needed only to invite others through. Behind them, humanity's flag flew alongside dozens of others, united not by conquest or competition, but by a simple human instinct. When you find something wonderful, you share it. The galaxy would never be the same,